Are modern women losing? I asked that question because I remember seeing Lolo Jones, and I saw the video of her, 40 years old. Now, but by the way, if you don't know who Lolo Jones is, beautiful woman, Olympic athlete, in phenomenal shape, in phenomenal shape. And she says she's a virgin, like 40-year-old virgin, a real life 40-year-old virgin is what she says. And she's willing to wait until marriage. So now, that's who this woman is. But I remember seeing the video of her on Instagram or something, and she's crying because she's 40 years old, a virgin, unmarried, and she still wants to have kids. So she was talking about freezing her eggs, and she was just talking about like how she's felt so sad that like things like she would date, things would seem to be going in the right direction, and they would fall apart, and she just felt confused, alone, and the popular lingo would be to say that she hit the wall. And I saw people talking about her, how this is evidence of how modern women are losing. They're doing what they want in their young years, and then in their older years, they hit the wall, and it's like, ha, now what? But one of the things I was like, wait a minute, does she qualify as a modern woman? Because if you believe that she's actually a virgin, then that sounds much more like a traditional woman. Plus, she wants to get married, and she's waiting for marriage to give up her virginity, is what she says. So, like, if all of those things are true, I'm like, I thought that would mean she was a traditional woman. But let's assume I'm wrong. Let's assume she is a modern woman, and clearly she's not happy when she's doing these videos and she's crying, and she's like I'm running out of time to have a family. And she's not the only one. I mean, you've got Brittany Renner now, who seems to, according to some, like, oh, she sees the light too. So I'm like, okay, is this proof and evidence that modern women are losing? Let's assume it is. Let's assume that this means that modern women are losing. And my question to the guys out there who consume Manosphere content is, does that make you happy? Seeing women who seem to be broken down, they're out of options, they're crying, they're lonely. Does this make you happy? If the answer is yes, my question is why? Why would seeing these women in emotional pain make you happy? I know what some of the answers are going to be. Oh, stop sounding like a simp. Listen, I'm asking questions. So, but nonetheless, some of the responses will be, oh, you sound like a simp. They're getting what they deserve. They're getting what they asked for. And okay, so the consensus is, the mind state is that they lived, wild lives in their younger years, and so now, to quote Mordo, the bill comes due. That's the mindset. That's the rationale. And I'm like, okay. I think there's also another element. There's an element that a lot of the guys that are happy that these women are now suffering are guys that were passed over by these types of women earlier. And I'm like, okay, so it's kind of some anger, it's kind of some, like, que sera, and it's kind of some, haha, who's the fool now? It's kind of some get back. And that's the point I wanted to focus on. It's that if you've got dudes that are happy that these women are miserable now, it's because they themselves aren't too happy in their current states. I mean, think about it. If you are completely content in your life, like let's say you got passed over by a 304. You got passed over by a 304, met a good woman, got married to that woman, have a beautiful family. Are you mad that the 304 passed you over? Or you're like, you know what? I actually dodged a bullet. You're like, that was actually good. I didn't even realize, because of the amount of drama that would have been in my life had I actually gotten involved with that woman, would have been a nightmare. But I got a good woman, good, beautiful children, beautiful family. I'm happy. But a lot of guys aren't at that point. A lot of guys themselves are also alone, are also miserable. They're happy at the misery that these women are suffering, and their misery themselves. And it goes on to the simple fact that misery loves company. And I'm not doing this to dig into you like, ha, no. I'm saying this because despite the fact that seeing somebody else in misery may give you some temporary satisfaction, It's not lasting, and it doesn't change your current state, your state of loneliness. It doesn't solve that problem. All it does is give you a temporary high that, somebody else is suffering. And it actually makes you more callous, less actually caring, less caring, less empathetic, and more vindictive. You see, when women are losing, we're seeing videos like Lolo Jones, even Brittany Renner did her videos of she crying and she's in an emotional state. But what about when men lose? You see, when men lose, we're not so much seeing them do these videos on Instagram or TikTok crying that they're alone and they need a woman. We're seeing something way, way worse. In fact, the name that comes to my mind is Orlando Harris. Orlando Harris is a young dude. Last year, I think like last November, last October, went into, I think, St. Louis. He killed one teacher, one student, and was killed by police in the shootout. When I saw this story, so the thing that really got me is he left behind a note about how lonely and disaffected he felt. And I'm like, this isn't the only case. There's been multiple cases and it's happening more and more frequently. And I'm like, listen, if we ignore what, we can look at what losing looks like. Yes, modern women losing, they get older, they hit the wall, they're crying. Modern men losing, they die young. That's a problem. They're not dying by natural causes, and they're not leaving this world by themselves. In their anger, in their frustration, in their desperation, they're taking other people with them. That's a problem. Like, that's a problem that we shouldn't be ignoring, and that why I look at a lot of this content in the Manosphere and I'm like, this shit ain't helping. A lot of this shit is not helping. A lot of this is actually making things worse. Because instead of helping guys, okay, hey, listen, rejection doesn't feel good, but here's what does feel good. Here's what you can do to give yourself a leg up, to improve yourself, and to increase your confidence and your options. Like, that's the things that should be focused on. But instead, I'm seeing so much focusing on the lowest common denominator of, oh yeah, look at them suffering. Look at what happened to them. Of reveling in other people's pain. And if you start getting into a mindset of you're getting pleasure from other people's pain, like from other people's genuine pain, I'm saying you're getting genuine pleasure from the emotional torment and pain of others. What is that doing to your mind? How is that warping your outlook on the world? But there are people, a lot of unscrupulous people, who just want to make a buck in these social media streets. And they don't give a damn what effect this is having on the world around them. Which is why I get to the point of, are modern women losing? Okay, yeah, let's say, I'll agree modern women are losing. Guess what? So are modern men. Modern men and modern women are losing. And if we don't stop and do something about it, there's going to be a whole lot more losing, and it's not going to be good for anybody. As always, don't forget to hit the thumbs up, like, share, subscribe if you have not subscribed already. But if you disagree with me, go ahead and hit the thumbs down and tell me in the comment section how you think it is beneficial for young men to just focus on the suffering of others as opposed to trying to build themselves up. I'll see you next time.